Hey there, recently we launched a video where we broke down recent trademark applications for American Riviera Orchard, both the name and the logo. Since we posted the video, we've gotten some questions, and also there's been some more news in the press about additional products that may be launched under the American Riviera Orchard brand. So, number one is that in our prior video, we did a thorough breakdown and described the trademark process and what types of categories of goods or services were contained in the existing trademark applications. Now, the recent news that has come out is that Meghan Markle might launch wine, specifically a rosé wine, also under the American Riviera Orchard brand, and then that might be her next product in addition to the jam and potentially the dog treats that may have gotten a recent soft launch. One interesting thing I wanted to point out is that in the existing trademark applications, there is no category for wine included in them. If you go through the trademark applications, and I'll show you some screenshots, there's a lot of categories included in them. Most of them have things like home goods, textiles, some drinkware, barware, a lot of pet products, some retail store services, stationery, things of that nature. There is no application in the category for wine or any other kinds of alcohol. Now, interesting to note is that once you submit a trademark application, you cannot expand it, meaning that once it's submitted, you cannot later file for more categories within that same application. And you'll see that originally there was a trademark application submitted earlier in the year, I think February, with some categories of goods included, and then there was another one done later because, again, like I said, you cannot go back and amend to add or expand on a mark that you've already submitted an application for. What you have to do is submit a totally new application for a trademark in the new category. So one thing to watch for will be to see if there is another application submitted for American Riviera Orchard or its logo or ARO in a wine category, okay? That would give you a good, solid indication of an intent to launch some type of wine product. Now, if not, don't panic. That doesn't mean that they don't intend to launch some type of wine. What I would guess is that, in all honesty, they might want to brand the wine separately, and it might not fall under the American Riviera Orchard brand. Why would that be? Well, because if you really think about it, things like wine and alcohol have a totally different set of risk factors. They have a totally different set of regulations that apply to them. And if you already had this existing brand with more consumer goods, more lifestyle goods, soft goods kinds of things, those products have a much different risk profile to a wine company. Wine is also heavily regulated. So whether you are producing wine, making wine, distributing wine, or selling wine, there are many, many regulations you have to follow on a federal, state, local level. So often, if someone came to our office and said, hey, I have this lifestyle brand, I have all these consumer products, and now I want to launch an alcohol brand or a wine brand, 9 times out of 10, the advice we're giving that person is probably, hey, set up a separate company, maybe even set up a separate brand and separate label for those things to try to separate any potential liability. And also just from the optics standpoint, like if you're selling home goods or consumer goods, all of that might not apply to people that want to drink wine. So you might want to have those branded separately for a lot of reasons. So what we would say, just from a legal standpoint and looking at the existing applications and knowing wine is not in there and what would have to happen, I wouldn't say that it means wine would not be launched. If they wanted it under the existing American Riviera Orchard brand, they would need to submit another application, now including wine. If not, my guess would be that that's going to come under a separate brand and maybe be something that is branded and totally put under separate entities at a later time. So that's it for our commentary. Hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to drop a comment. Thanks.
I'm a young boss, got me feeling like a rock. They can never match it, they can never stop. Cause I've been really giving everything that I got. Cause I've been working on a plan and a plot. Over with the killers and we going to the top. We blowing up your city and you might get dropped. Cause we are never quitting, we are never giving up. So the enemies, I'm taking them apart. I'm a young boss, got me feeling like a rock. They can never match it, they can never stop. Cause I've been really giving everything.